What a difference a few hours in crypto land can actually mean for prices. It's insane, the volatility right now, and it's only going to get even crazier. We were promised an epic bull run, make heaps of money in Q4 of 2021, and it's not playing out that way. Yes, we just hit all-time highs for Bitcoin and Ethereum, but suddenly we see red across the market, and I'm here to explain what the hell is going on. In this video, I'm gonna just deep dive into why I think things are happening in this market, why we're seeing red across the market, and is it a time to get out? Have we, finally finished up on this bull run? Or is it time to start consolidating, start leveling, our minds and our emotions, and start figuring out what our positions could be and should we be buying? Now, if you're interested, keep watching. Hey guys, my name's Ravi and welcome back to Personal Finance with Ravi Sharma. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because I talk about real estate, cryptocurrency, and financial freedom. Now, we are seeing some red, real concern in the market right now. And if you're in the Patreon group, yes, shameless plug, if you're in the Patreon group, 2 days ago, we were talking about exactly this scenario playing out. So if you want up-to-date sort of details around crypto and how things are moving so quickly, then definitely hop onto that. There's a link in the description below. But more importantly, it's how we prepare and react to this market. That is what we need to prepare for. And I was always looking at two scenarios playing out. A couple of days ago when I posted in Patreon and said, look,
guys, we have option A and we have option B.
And here we are, and I can talk to you about it now because option A seems like, it's playing out. So let's look at the overall market right now and understand that it's been over 6 months since we saw Bitcoin smash its all-time high. Not only did it smash it like 2 days later again. So are we, bullish? Are we feeling bearish here? Are we selling? Are we buying? Well, that can only mean one thing. To the moon! But no, in all seriousness, what we are seeing is huge amounts of leverage in the system that just came through because everyone believes that this is going to play out exactly the same way as it did 4 years ago. Now, you are forgiven to think that because to the day, we were making corrections exactly the same way we are making one right now. So it's easy for people to sort of fall into that trap thinking, well, in 2017 it happened.
Surely it's going to happen again.
And that's where we need to prepare and be in the best state of mind for how we navigate the next 30 to 60 days. If we truly believe that it's going to play out like 2017, that means we only have about 30 to 35 days left from the time of recording this video. So what does that mean? Are you late? Are you early? Should you even buy crypto? Is it too late to do that? There's a bunch of questions. And if you are new to the entire space in crypto, I still think you're early, despite what people say.
That, okay, we're at the final leg of this bull run. We're going to go up for 30 days and then we're just going to come crashing down.
If you are trying to understand what's happening, even if you're playing with a little bit of money, not financial advice, I don't have a fancy paper on the back of my wall, so I can't give you that. But I think it's very useful for you to start dabbling into understanding how Bitcoin works, why everyone wants to buy it, why big companies and big company CEOs, you've got the Apple CEO, you've got the Facebook CEO, you've got Tesla CEO, all of these companies are coming and they're coming to the party quickly. So it's a time to get educated. If you are interested to try and start putting some funds in and you want to know how to even get started, we've all heard the CBA news. There's a video up here where you can see what's happening with Australia's largest bank taking on crypto. If you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. But if you are looking at getting started today, because you can't do it on CBA, then definitely go check out Coinspot Australia. It's Australia's most trusted. They've been around since 2013. It's what I use to, navigate the crypto market. So there's a link in the description below to get set up. And that link does get you $10 free Bitcoin. But also I've got a video on this channel, along with a whole playlist of a step-by-step guide as to how you go from, I've got money in my bank account, to I want to buy crypto today. So definitely go check that out. So what was I posting in Patreon a couple of days ago and why a lot of us are just sitting there going,
well, it's sort of playing out now, isn't it?
There's no sort of surprise because there was option A and option B. Now, option A was where I was looking at the scenario and saying, okay, there's a lot of people that are trading the same way that they believe that 2017 is playing out. It's the human emotions that are really driving this next part of the bull run. So what does that mean? Well, people know that if we start hitting all-time highs consistently enough, we are going to go on the parabolic move that we were all promised because we were going to be promised
to become millionaires.
So if that did play out, that would mean that people would come in and say, well, I'm late to the party, but I can use leverage and start making more money because, hey, this is a really good bet I can take right now with the risk and reward. And so what that meant was over time, we started seeing the leverage in the system grow. Now, what does leverage mean? It basically means that people, for every dollar they're putting in, they're leveraging against that and saying,
well, I want this money to act as if a 10x multiplier or 5x multiplier, so my returns are a lot higher.
The problem with that is that you're effectively playing with danger. If the market goes the other way, you get liquidated out of your positions unless you can put more collateral up. And that's pretty much what's happening, right? Is we're seeing red across the market, and this is causing a lot of people, a lot of traders to get shaken out. Now, if this happens, we start seeing wicks down and they're going to be massive. We've seen it time and time again throughout this year alone. It's what, to a certain extent caused the crash that we saw earlier this year in April, May and June. Well, what we have learned is that when Bitcoin sort of, shits the bed, all the altcoins shit even worse.
I know, great vocabulary, Ravi.
But at the end of the day, if we see red on Bitcoin, we're probably going to see red across the entire altcoins, and it starts bleeding a lot more than Bitcoin, which again, we expected in scenario A. We've seen funding rates, we've seen leverage come into the system, and now we need that leverage to be shaken out before we can keep moving higher. So that sort of brings us to option 2. What happens next? Are we looking at something else here? So scenario 2 was really saying if the market does not care about the leverage in the system, we are absolutely going to pump for the next couple of weeks, and Bitcoin is going to lead that charge. In this scenario, if this plays out, and believe me, it can still play out after this correction, is that Bitcoin will be the first mover. We've seen the money flow system, and basically how it works is money falls into Bitcoin first, then goes into Ethereum, then into large caps, and then into small caps, okay? So if that happens, the first one to move should be Bitcoin. If that happens, and we play this out like 2017, well, in 2017, we did like a 4 or 5x in the space of a month. Now, given that the market cap was a lot lower back then, it was easier to move around. But if that plays out, we're going to see Bitcoin go on the next leg up, and think of it like going up a mountain. Bitcoin needs to go up first, check out that everything's all good, and then it'll say, alts, you can come follow me while Bitcoin chills out, has a drink of water. That's effectively how the scenario 2 could play out. Now, I think a mix of both will happen. One, we're seeing the funding rates, we're seeing leverage, now we're going to have to see that shakeout. Could this present a really good opportunity? Well, I will share my thoughts soon. But what we could see is that shakeout initially, which we're seeing now, alts will bleed, and most people are going to take their money into, stable coins, or they go, well, I know that Bitcoin's probably going to dip a lot less than my altcoins. So I'll move from altcoins into Bitcoin and then protect my wealth. They keep their money there, and then once everything calms down, we know Bitcoin's going to move first. So that's where you see not only do your alts stay red for a while, they bleed against Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin takes off, alts just chill out and go,
oh my God, what just happened?
So what am I doing in this market, and how do I see the next couple of weeks playing out? Well, I think we're going to see a bit of a shakeout now. We're probably down 5 to 10% across the market. It could go up to about 20 to 25%. That's sort of what I'm expecting. Could it go this low? Well, it could be a flash crash down that low, but who knows really? It's crypto. Then from there, we're going to see Bitcoin be the first mover, but I feel like the really strong altcoins that have really good utility, a lot of backing, and a lot of recent announcements that are very positive for the project are going to bounce as well, and they're going to bounce a lot harder than Bitcoin. Now for you guys, you know that I'm holding a little bit of Bitcoin, but I have no intentions to hold that long term along with my alt bags. I have plans to sell, a dynamic selling process over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, however long it goes for, and you can check out my cryptocurrency exit strategies video up here, and I'll leave a link in the description below as well. So if that is my mindset, I'm looking at the market very, very closely today. Depending on which alts that I've had in my positions, looking at support and resistance on charts as well, there are a lot that are falling back into those support zones that I believe are going to hold, and we're going to see coming out of this market a weekend full of green, and I think we're going to take off to the next part of this bull run. Could I be wrong?
100% I could.
Nobody in the world knows what crypto is going to do, let alone on YouTube. So you shouldn't really be taking advice from any YouTubers or influencers anyway, but these are prompts. This is for you to go and calm down, understand that everything's going to be okay, and what your worst case is that you fall back on your strategy. If you're watching this video and you got to this point and you're like,
I don't really have a strategy,
then I would be concerned. The next question that most people ask is it too late to get into crypto? Well, it depends on your time horizon. If you're looking at this sort of bull run and you're looking at this cycle and potentially the next 30 to 60 days, well, the risk is high, but the reward is also high. If you're okay to stomach the volatility, then hey, go for it. And it's a good time to learn. But if you are someone that's looking at, hey, in the next 10, 15, 20 years, where this space is going to be, well then personally, I'd probably just wait for the bear market. It's going to come in 2022, 2023. Whenever that happens, I want to then start going and DCAing into that and building up my wealth that way. The risk is a lot lower. The reward is also a lot higher, but the time frame is different. So it all comes down to what you're looking at doing. If you are interested in like daily updates, now it's becoming hourly updates, then definitely go to Patreon. I can't stress this enough. It takes me a long time to shoot these videos, edit, research and whatnot. Whereas in the Patreon community, I can go in, I can have the podcast, which is the audio sessions I release every single week about my thoughts across all markets, not just crypto, NFTs, real estate, and the economy. So if you're interested, that's where I'm going to be all the time. On these YouTube videos, I try and give you an update, but we were looking at this playing out. If you were in the Patreon group, you probably took some profits. You're sitting on the sidelines with some dry powder and going,
how do I make my next move?
Personally, I think it's all eyes on crypto at the moment. The next 30 to 60 days is going to be huge and it's going to be the Wild West. So enjoy the ride, but also write down the notes, reflect, and understand the emotions you're going through this phase, because this will return, the euphoria will return, and you need to have logic there to be able to know when you're going to sell. If you have enjoyed this video, smash that like button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.